In my small Back Bay apartment, the kind with creaky floors and a window that looked out over a narrow alley, life felt predictable until the night I sent the wrong message. It was late. Rain tapped softly against the glass, and the city hummed in that quiet, distant way Boston does after midnight. I was sprawled on my couch, still in my work clothes, replaying the day in my head. My boss, Claire Whitmore, had been different lately, warmer, softer, or maybe I was just imagining things. I picked up my phone, intending to text my friend Jake. I think I'm falling for her. I stared at the words for a second, my thumb hovering over send. It felt ridiculous, even admitting it to myself. Claire was composed, brilliant, and completely out of my league, not to mention my boss. But before I could rethink it, I hit send. A second later, my stomach dropped. The message didn't go to Jake. It went to Claire. For a moment, everything inside me froze. The ticking clock on the wall sounded louder than it ever had. My heart began to pound, fast and heavy, as if trying to escape my chest. No, 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 I muttered, grabbing the phone again like I could somehow undo it. 3 dots appeared on the screen. She was typing. I stood up, pacing the length of my tiny apartment. The floorboards groaned under my steps as panic crept in. This was it. I'd just destroyed my career, my reputation, everything. Then her reply came. We need to talk. That was all. No emoji. No explanation. Just those 4 words. I sank back onto the couch, staring at the message. My mind raced with every possible outcome, none of them good. Would she fire me? Report me? Pretend it never happened but silently judge me forever? Minutes passed, though they felt like hours. I tried to distract myself, but every sound made me jump. The rain got heavier, tapping louder against the window. Then, a knock at the door. I froze. Another knock, firmer this time. My breath caught in my throat as I slowly walked toward the door. No one ever came by this late. No one except. I opened it. Claire stood there, her coat damp from the rain, her hair slightly tousled. She looked different outside the office, less guarded, more real. But her eyes were searching mine in a way that made my chest tighten. I didn't think this was a conversation we should have over text. She said quietly. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then she stepped inside, and everything changed. The door clicked shut behind her, and suddenly my apartment felt smaller than ever. I'm sorry, I blurted out, the words tumbling over each other. That message, it wasn't meant for you. I mean, it was, but not like that, I just... Hey. Claire's voice was calm, but firm. Breathe. I stopped, realizing I hadn't taken a proper breath since she arrived. She set her umbrella aside and looked around the apartment, briefly before her gaze settled back on me. You said you're falling for me, she said, carefully choosing each word. Heat rushed to my face. It's stupid. I know it's inappropriate, and I never meant for you to find out. I'd never cross a line, I swear. She stepped a little closer, her expression unreadable. Why didn't you just delete it? She asked. I didn't realize until it was too late. A faint smile tugged at the corner of her lips. No, I mean, why didn't you delete the feeling? That caught me off guard. I tried, I admitted. Every day. But you're not just my boss, Claire. You're kind. And you actually listen. And when you smile, it feels like the whole room shifts. I know it's complicated, but I couldn't pretend anymore, even if I never planned to tell you. The silence that followed felt fragile, like it might shatter if either of us moved too quickly. Claire exhaled slowly, her shoulders relaxing just a bit. You think this is easy for me? She said softly. I've noticed, you know, the way you look at me, the way you go quiet when it's just us in a room. My heart skipped. And? I asked, barely above a whisper. And I told myself it was nothing, that it had to be nothing. She paused, searching my face. Because if it wasn't, then I'd have to admit something I've been trying very hard not to. I felt the air leave my lungs. What? She hesitated, just for a second. That I feel it too. The words landed like a quiet storm. I stared at her, unsure if I'd heard correctly. You do. Claire nodded, a small, almost nervous laugh escaping her. Which is exactly why this is dangerous. There are rules, boundaries, consequences. I know, I said quickly. I don't want to mess up your career. Or mine. Another step closer. Now there was barely any space between us. But ignoring it, she said, her voice softer now, doesn't make it disappear. The rain outside had slowed to a gentle whisper, like the world itself was holding its breath. So what do we do? I asked. Claire looked at me for a long moment, her eyes steady, searching. Then she reached for my hand. For tonight, she said quietly, we just be honest.